Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? Let's talk about it. Most creators, burnout isn't really a creative problem. It is a systems problem. And so I got a guest here tonight that's going to help me make that case. So most creators think they have a content problem. Tonight I'm going to show you that's really a systems problem, and the fix is simpler than you think. And so, who have I brought in with me? I've got Florence Donald. Hey, how are you doing? Where's my applause button? Hey.
Hey, Roy.
How about
So
let me
glad
say
to
that?
be here.
I am so glad you're here too. My applause button was acting up, so just forget it. We're no applause.
We're just, you
Yay!
know what? We're just hanging out. We're just two buddies hanging out. It is all good in the hood. It is not a problem. We don't have to do all of that.
But
Look,
I
I
wanted
I
to
have the
though.
privilege
Yeah.
of being able to text. I have the privilege of being able to bother you and ask you questions when nobody else can. That's all I need. I'm good.
All right. So here's the point I want to make. I want everybody to reframe this. Every video you make, every live stream you make is a project. If you think about it, every upload schedule is a deadline, and every audience member is a stakeholder. You know? So I want people to think about things, systems, and processes to make it easier for them to make content. Last week, I was focused on how you can use AI to automate stuff that happens around your video, not making the video itself, but happens around your video, the chapters and all that. This week, I want to talk about the video itself and how you can get yourself organized. And so, Florence, that's why I got you on here, because you are just the productivity coach. You are, the project manager, the product manager. You are focused on processes and how to organize yourself. So I really want to, hear your point of view. So, tell everybody, give us a quick brief about who Florence Donald is, and we're going to talk about your channel
About
later.
who Florence Donald is.
Yeah.
About who Florence Chief cat herder. Just cat herder. I cat herder. That's what you would call me. I herd the cats. Professionally, I just, I'm always herding. But really, I've been in the game and in technology for way longer than I'm going to tell you because I'm vintage. But there's some zeros in there. And I am in the what's engagement management, program management space in technology. And so I use the skills every day just in life.
Yeah.
And I brought the same skills that I use professionally into creating videos, doing live broadcasts, and a host of other things. So, um,
Yeah.
lifelong learner. And so I'm constantly learning from people like, this guy over here, Roy, and asking questions that sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm about to ask you a dumb question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. And so that's a little bit about who I am.
Yeah.
Believer in Jesus Christ, follower of Jesus Christ, and I don't apologize for it.
Amen.
And that's how I make my decisions. Is what does the Word of God say about this situation or this struggle or this challenge or this celebration that I'm experiencing right now? And I want to treat people the way the Word says to treat people.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when I
That's
leave this
fantastic.
earth, people are going to remember how I treated them, and nothing else matters.
So definitely ditto for me. Definitely Jesus Christ is my savior as well. But we're gonna jump into content. We'll get back. We'll get back to our faith. There'll be a moment there. So Florence,
You
what are
need some making content.
yeah, yes you do. What are some creator habits that remind you of using project management skills? What are some skills that you've seen some creators? Obviously not me, but some creators that remind you they have it really organized. They must use some sort of project management skill. What kind of things have you noticed other creators do?
Well, I'm going to talk about people that I know and I've met along the way. That's the best way I can tell this story. And I see a couple of folks here in the building with us tonight. So I'm going to use a couple of these folks as my example So I watch Tora week in and week out. She meticulously plans her topics, making sure that they follow a rhythm and a pattern, and that she's ready to deliver. So that's a habit that any project follows. I say you start with the end in mind. What is your output? What are you going to produce? And then once you know what your output is, then you back up from there and you can get to the beginning instead of starting at the beginning and stumbling into the end. And Torah is one of the absolute best of the people that I've come to know, that I see and I strive to emulate, knowing what the output is so that when the inputs start, it the output makes sense. Not only to me as a creator, but to those I'm seeking to serve. So that's one habit. Another habit is having all of your files organized. And the person that I've watched do that, and he doesn't even know I do this, but I've gone back and watched some content where he's talked about it, is organizing your files and having a clear naming structure. And that's Matt. That is one of the things I've watched about him. And I go back periodically to remind myself so that you're not investing part of your 1,440 minutes a day searching for your files, your B roll, what you named something, what was your last run of show, do you want to bring any part of that? So having quick direct access. So those are two people that I follow, and I know Tora knows because she and I talk a little bit more, but I don't know that Matt knows how much I actually pay attention to that part. But then we have that BA brain that we share.
Yeah, I was going to say, I definitely agree with both of those picks, Florence. Definitely, Matt is definitely the file organization guy. And Tora, man, she's just got her act together. She's just got this whole system. We've talked about it before. She was on the show. It's been a while, but she
Hmm.
was on the show. We had this long talk about her system. It's very, very fascinating. So, what are some creator habits that remind you of a project that's not properly managed?
This is going to, I'm not going to qualify it. Not managing your risk, not not managing your assumptions. We all make assumptions all the time. And any project manager worth their salt, the things that they pay attention to other than budget is risk, issues, and assumptions. And so, what are your risks? Risks are not problems. Risks are something that may happen for whatever reason, and can't, how are you going to deal with it? There are only four things you can do with it. Issues are something, a question has come up, or that situation has actually occurred, and now how do I deal with the situation that has occurred? And assumptions are all of those things that we say to ourselves. And I always tell my clients, when I hear someone say I thought, that means they're making assumptions, but they have not validated what they thought. And creators do the same thing. We make assumptions, we don't write them down, and we don't validate them. Ask me, I do the same. I don't always pay attention to my risk: camera not working, lights not working, um, internet trouble, I lost where I am in my run of show, all of those details. Those are risks that we can plan how we're going to deal with them should they occur.
Yeah. So, what happens when a content creator doesn't define what success looks like before they start?
They don't ever get to success, and they don't get to a place of satisfaction. I one of actually my first job in tech many years ago, my leader said to me one day, we were talking, version 1 is better than version none. And as a content creator, I've learned to adopt the same philosophy. Version one is better than version none. Get something out because you can always iterate and improve it the next time around. I put a video out 2, 3 weeks ago. It is not performing well, but now I can look at it and say, okay, the next version of this, I can study it to figure out what to change. But without putting it out, I'm just in my head assuming what's going to happen with no input to tell me what actually is happening.
Yeah, I. What is your thought process? Why do you think creators feel overwhelmed if they're not publishing that often?
Because they're living in their head. Let me explain what I mean by that. When I read the book Getting Things Done by David Allen many years ago, 10, 12 years ago, it unlocked something in me that I understood. I instinctively knew it, but I had never been able to crystallize it the way he did. Is when you get all of the thoughts out of your head and put them someplace where you know you'll go back and trust it, then your brain can do what it can be creative. But when you don't and you're just carrying it around, carrying all those thoughts, the woulda, shoulda, couldas around in your brain, and you're not looking at it and that you can trust that you're going to come back to it, your brain holds on to it. And so you're thinking, I should make videos, I should make videos, I should be uploading a video, I should be live streaming, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. But it's in your mind. And your mind doesn't know the difference between what's physically happening and what isn't. So it thinks you should be doing that all the time. Guess what? You're exhausting yourself. But if you put a list of videos out and look at it and you say, okay, I know I said I was going to publish a video on Thursday. Okay, I'm not going to do that. And you literally move that to another place on your calendar. Your mind now says, oh, you made the decision not to do that. Let me let it go. I'll come back to it because I'll see it. That's the overwhelm. We're living in our head instead of seeing it externally where we can make decisions.
Yeah. I want to point out a couple things, and I want to shout out and see everybody's out of their business tonight. So, I have developed my latest edition of a run a show checklist. You don't have to sign up for anything. You just click on a link. It's literally pinned. It's pinned to the chat. Click that link. It takes you to a Google Doc, and then you save it to your Google Drive or download it. But it starts before the show even starts. It's like, hey, I got to go make sure 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours, that my guest is all set and ready and everything. And so I think that you will find it a big help. And tonight we're talking about, usually creator stress comes from an uncertainty, not workload. Do you kind of agree that it comes from that? It's the uncertainty that makes things stressful for you. It's not the workload usually. How do you
The
feel about that?
actual work, the actual work is in reality not a ton, especially when you live stream. It's not a lot of physical work. It is mental work, and that takes energy. But like overwhelm, where we're rehearsing and our minds are saying all the time we should be doing something, the stress is the same. If we're not getting it out of our heads and we're not managing the load, I looked at the way I would describe this, I looked at a list of about 30 videos and I just said, I'm not going to do those right now. I know they're in my list. When I'm ready to do them, I will come back and do them. I let it go. There is no stress because I'm the one who's determining what my timeline is. Someone else isn't. So
Good
that
stuff.
for me was magical. I'm not allowing YouTube or LinkedIn or Substack or whatever else to determine the timeline that I follow. I'm making that decision. Therefore, I don't have any stress about it. Now, if I set a goal and I say I'm going to meet it and it's important to me, we'll talk about one that you know about. Then I also back up from that date, like I do in my profession. When do I need to start, and what are the milestones along the way,
Hmm.
so that I'm I can accomplish that without being crazy the night before. I am the absolute worst at last minute things. I've always been that person. If I'm like it's down to the last minute, something in my whole being just shuts down. So for me, I learned very early in life that it's not how I operate.
And and
Some people do, but I don't.
I was going to say I'm the opposite. There's so much magic that happens at the last minute. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go. Yeah. Matt says, I'm ready for business talk. Yep. Hey, Tora. Hey, Florence and Roy. Hey, Tori. Ask a good question. Yes, she's already got a question out there for us. I'm getting to it. We're gonna. I like making things easy. Laura's easy. Hey, how you doing? Stuart in the house. Lisa Maria. Hey, no question is a dumb question. That is true. That is so true. Yeah, Tech and Flow. Hey, Brian, how you doing? Matt, post some stuff out there. Yep. Florence, if I had time, I'd make more videos about that topic. He's talking about the file organization. Yeah, that a better management system is definitely a goal. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. All right, here we go. Here's Frank in the house. How you doing, sir? Let's see. All right. What is the single biggest friction point creators usually face when moving from creative chaos into a structured pipeline? So what is a single
The
business
answer
friction point? Yeah, go please.
the answer is in the question, and that is creative chaos versus structured pipeline. Some creatives think that you cannot be creative and be structured at the same time. But actually, the opposite is true. When you have some structure and a framework that you're working in, then your mind lets go and it can come up with all kind of wonderful ideas. Being creative doesn't mean chaos. Everyone is creative in some form of fashion. It looks different for different people, but everyone has a seed of creativity in them. The structure is just allows us to move swiftly, smoothly through and get our creative ideas out. I often say I don't have a creative bone in my body, but that's actually not true. I'm super creative. I am not artistic. Like I don't think in colors and pictures. I think in words. So I will put all the words together creatively, and then I have someone else do the visuals because I don't think that way. But it doesn't mean I'm not creative. I'm just very structured in the way I do the part that I'm creative in.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that believe that organization kills creativity, but it frees you because it gives you so much more time to be creative because you've already taken care of those things that are time sucks that suck away your time. If you've already taken care of organizing things, you got so much more time to create because you don't have to think about the minimal, the administrivia things, as I like to call them. So I definitely, yeah. Oops, not that one.
I want to just say it's
There we go.
not only thinking about the administrative task or items to be concerned about and not thinking about, so there's a difference. I'll say it this way. There is a difference in not wanting or not being interested in dealing with the mundane routine maintenance items that just come with having doing anything with business, with life. If you always are getting dishes and you never wash your dishes, one, ooh, But soon you're going to run out of dishes in your house. You got to wash the dishes. It's necessary. It's no different in being in media and production. It's no different in doing anything else we do. You got to wash your clothes. That's maintenance. So this idea that it's those things are uh, take too much time. They take as much time as they take. They don't take away from doing the fun stuff that we want to do, because that's really what we're talking about. I want to do the fun stuff and I don't want to do the routine stuff. But doing the routine things allows you to do the fun things.
It's true. It is true. And if they're really mundane, you can automate them. So
A lot of them you can.
yeah, David Ryan says, "Hey,
You
oh,
can't. I haven't figured out how to automate washing my dishes. I do have a little robot who vacuums for me, but some days he makes me mad. But I haven't figured out how.
yeah,
Well, if you use a dishwasher, but then you got to load and unload. So there's
yeah."
that.
All right, Tor's got another question for you. There are so many project management tools out there: Notion, Asana, Trello, etc. Do you have a specific recommendation for standardizing a YouTube workflow?
What work? My recommendation is use what works for you, the way your brain works. Um, I have used Evernote since 2008, and I have many workflows for different types of things in there. The tool actually is irrelevant. It's your thinking and you devising your own systems, your own workflow, what comes first, second, third, what your output is. That's what makes the difference. Absolutely any tool, a notebook and a pencil can be your tool. The tool is actually irrelevant. All of them will work. What fails is the thinking that we must put in. If we think the tool is going to do the job for us, we're fooling ourselves. My absolute, I'm old, okay? I'm vintage. Let me say it that way. My absolute number one favorite project management tool on the planet is Microsoft Project. If I could, I would do everything in life in Microsoft Project. I've been using it since it was before it was actually a released product by Microsoft. Tool doesn't matter because I could know how to push all the buttons in the tool, but if I didn't have a process and a system that I follow, it still would just be chaos and I would get nothing done.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who used to own the product that became Project. Kombucha, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Hi. David says, I try to plan ahead, but always seem to end up rushing at the last minute. ADHD is challenging. Yes, it is. Ken Robinson Coach says, I have produced over 198 daily audio devotionals for Australian Christian radio. What I've learned about batching, templates, and using AI has helped consistent output. That is fantastic. Yeah, I'm terrible at batching, but I am good at AI automation. And so I definitely can relate to that. And I kind of have some set templates. I try to mix it up enough so you can't tell, but I do have some set templates to kind of. I'm way more organized than I let Florence in to know. I just don't want her to know she's getting to me and making me learn stuff. I don't want her to know that. So
If it makes you happy, that's fine. That's
and
fine.
then that's the other part of that is that if you are, you know, truly trying to not be a hobbyist, but you are trying to turn it into a business, or whether it be a nonprofit so it just sustains itself, or a business where you are actually trying to make money from content creation or by training others, influencing others, whatever that may be, just getting organized and managing things like a project is going to help you not miss out on details. And so Florence, kind of what's your business thought process on YouTube and everything that's involved with it?
It's beyond YouTube. Life is business. Living your everyday life, getting up, having the ability to move in whatever way that is. Everyone is different, everyone has challenges. Living is business. So, my thought is live your life intentionally. You're, if you're talking strictly about a YouTube channel, then treat it seriously, not yourself, but seriously, so that you can be successful like Kombucha. Hey there,
Hmm.
and what you're building, and so many others who are in the building with us. Ken, 189 daily audio devotionals. That takes being intentional. Set your systems up, your pipeline up, your organization up, your timeline. All of that goes into it. And then know what you're going to say no to. Make the decision. And if you need to change the decision later because of information you gather, that's fine. Make the decision, however, and go with the decision that you make at the time.
Yeah, definitely.
I,
Um,
I'm not talking tools
Please.
and tools and gear and stuff, because all of that is absolutely secondary to what I'm sharing with people.
Yeah.
The way we think is far more important than any tool. Again, so much of the world was designed without having all the tools and tech that we have today. It's not the tools and tech. Never has been, never will be. They can help us move swiftly, but they're not the thing. It's what's here. Creating something from nothing.
We're,
That's how
we're
you treat it
yeah.
like a business.
We're the only creatures on earth that can create something from nothing. So, what habits do you think separate sustainable creators from burned out ones? What are habits that people that are able to sustain and maintain that keep them from burning out?
Managing your calendar, having the time that you set in your calendar in relationship to your entire life, not just isolated by itself, because we all have different things. We have families, we have ministry, we have hobbies, we have jobs, we have volunteer service. So managing your calendar is absolutely critical. I manage everything based on what's in my calendar. Even in my profession, I tell people, please do not call me or email me or Slack me asking me for time on my calendar. Go book it. And if you find an open spot, book it and I'll show up. Don't ask me. Put in there what the conversation is going to be about. And that's how I work. And I have a habit, and this is one I would implore everyone to do, is every day, not, don't take a day off. Look at your calendar from the day before, the current day, and the next day, so that you're reflecting and pulling forward anything that was yesterday. You know what today is. You can do a little bit of planning today for what is tomorrow. That one habit will make a tremendous difference in how you manage and de-stress producing, and know whether you're going to do live streams or recorded videos or shorts or blogs or whatever it is. There's not one size fits all. I love to write, so frankly, more of my content is written than it is. I have three newsletters and a blog in addition to my YouTube channel, because I love to write. I don't love video as much. I love live streaming, but I love to write. So I've developed my process around that. So
That's
hopefully I
awesome.
answered your question. If I didn't, ask it again and I'll try again.
No, I think you did great. I want to show this checklist. So I can't promise this is the end all be all for everybody, but there's a link in the chat. I pinned it up there. You click on the link. I'm not asking for your name or anything. You just click it. You make a copy yourself. Put it in your Google Drive. Save it. But I used to use Notion. I used to use Notion to try to do my run a show and everything, and I tried to organize myself. And at the end of the day, I usually am an Excel spread, a Google Sheets person, and I will do a Google Sheet. But I decided to turn that into a checklist, and so live. I'm usually live, but you could use this for a recorded video. But I use this for live, and I'm like, here's the things you got to think about. If you're having a guest on, especially, confirm topic and working title. Write your opening hook. The first 60 seconds should give viewers a reason to stay. Outline your show segments. Don't overscript. Just key questions and transitions. Identify your calls to action. Subscribe or comment or resource link next show. Prepare any screen shares, slides, and demos. Send a guest confirmation. So I'm just jumping around. Day of the show. Open eCam. Okay, I'm an eCam person. You could change that to say OBS or whatever you want it to say. Right there. You could change that to be whatever you want. Check your audio input, check your video, add a guest as a remote source, eCam interview link sent and tested. I've gotten to the point where it just works. So I don't test as much anymore. But anyway, load scenes, overlays, and lower thirds you plan to use. Set your stream as unlisted or public as your tenant. I schedule mine ahead of time. I try to have it a day or two ahead of time so that people kind of see it. You can kind of promote it. You can go talk about it on other social media. 15 minutes before go live, I like to get the guests in the green room and do an audio check and a tech check. Confirm first call to action. Make sure you kind of got your act together and you're ready to go. And then, opening 5 minutes, you deliver that hook. First 60 seconds. Why should you watch this show? I'm telling you now, this is why you should watch this episode. You got to start off with that. You got to give people a why. And then you welcome the audience, you introduce your guest, and then you give viewers 36 seconds to share where they're watching from and that type of thing, and knowledge live comments periodically. And so this is the whole thing. Then post show, all the steps you need to go through, add chapters, update the title or thumbnail if it's needed based on performance, add video to any relevant playlist. And so this is the process that I go through, and I'm just trying to make it look more official. That here's the process that I go through. So you're welcome to this. If you guys want to use it, great. If you don't, that's fine. If you want to, you download it and you want to share it with others, please share it with anybody you want. It's good. If it's going to help them, send it to them. That's what the whole point of this show is anyway, is creators helping other creators to be successful. That's what I am always shooting for on this show, is that's what I want. I want to help other creators. So let's see. Ken's got some more great comments. Let's see. Matt says, my strength is making repeatable actions, aka workflows, insanely efficient while collecting data you can use to make better decisions. Ken's giving some more updates on how he does his process. I record 7 videos in one session and then edit 7 in one go. Wow. Never jump from one thing to another. Record all your videos at once and then edit. Don't jump from recording to editing. Good stuff. The most I've ever been able to do is 3 at one time, and then I just went in and edited the first one all the way through because I'd already thought about what I'm gonna do. But anyway, and then Ken says that ChatGPT organizes my recording calendar, and I create a 2-page prompt that writes. Hang on, come back here. Hang on. That writes my scripts. ChatGPT is my producer. I discuss what I'm doing next. Oh, that's great. And then next comment, ChatGPT and Claude have both become my production assistant coach. They don't argue and they don't judge me. That's good stuff, yeah.
Well, Claude kind of does judge you and kind of tell you off. Let me just tell you, Claude, I was like, oh, you just hurt my feelings.
Well, I tell it to hurt my feelings.
How is the chatbot hurting my feelings? But Claude, you just hurt my feelings. You yelled at me. Claude will tell you off.
Well, yeah, but I in my case, I ask it to. I say, I want you to be truthful. You might hurt my feelings, but I want you to be truthful about what you're saying. ChatGPT always, oh, you're doing wonderful. I'm like, stop it. I'm tired of hearing that. give me some advice. Occasionally I'll just ask ChatGPT, just go ahead and roast me right now. And are you sure? Yes, just hit me with it. I need to know. So, because I find there's growth in seeing negatives, even if they're not true. Because it's like comedy. Comedy always has some truth in it, even when it's just trying to go for a laugh. There's always some truth because that's what gets the laugh, is because there's a little element of truth in comedy. And that's why a lot of comedians are successful, because they tell stories that are real things that are happening, but then they put a spin on it that makes you laugh or think about it a different way. So I don't know. That's just my thought process there. Um, you How do you avoid turning something you love into a source of stress?
Systems. Your systems. So let me explain what I mean by systems. Your systems is kind of like some of what you just did. Having
Mm-hmm.
your checklists, your templates, your your what steps you're going to take, in what order you're going to take them, so that it doesn't become stressful. Because if in Coach Ken, he knows he's going to record seven. He's going to do recording of 7 videos in a session. So he's not recording one day and then he's feeling guilty, and then another day he records and his B-roll is someplace, and okay, I haven't recorded, now I'm guilty again. He has designed his system with whatever tools he wants to use, so he does those recordings at one time. Now he knows I've got these recordings, and he's designed his system so that his workflow, so that he's going to edit and he's going to batch edit. We as humans operate uniquely. Each of us are unique. So every single one of us operate uniquely. No two humans operate exactly the same. So whatever that operation is for you, how you work, how your brain works, how your emotions flow, is how you set your system up, your templates, your processes, your calendars, the tools you use. And then, if when it comes to the tools you use, you learn to use them, learn to use the heck out of them. Don't just learn the surface, really get in and play with it. I have a speech that I do about using software, and I call it "You Can't Break It." So many people are afraid of breaking the computer. It's really a software, because to break the computer means you got to drop it and break the physical box. You really truly cannot break software. You can find bugs, but you can't break the software. So try stuff, see what it does, so you learn it.
Good stuff. What does healthy productivity actually look like for a content creator?
I just said it. Really, it comes back to your calendar. It genuinely comes back to your calendar. I intentionally will block times on my calendar that says rest and relax. Other than my best friend who's in the chat, hey Frank, and my brother and my sisters, no one gets to me during that time. Nobody. I don't care who my pastor doesn't get to me, my job doesn't get to me. Nobody gets to me during that time except that very small group of people. And I really don't care what's going on.
Yeah.
So running my calendar, time with my best friend said we're gonna hang out, I'm not thinking about making a video or writing an article or what I shoulda, coulda, woulda been doing. I'm solely focused on the time with my best friend. When my girl group, we're hanging out and we figure out a time when we're gonna do that, I'm not thinking about anything else. Those rest and rejuvenation and the time to feed you with the people in your life who matter to you is critical. Jesus took time away. Just saying. I hope I didn't offend anybody, but that's the best way I can say it.
Yep. Yep. Let's see. Yeah. I build capture. Hey, Roy and Florence. I joined late, but I really like the Google Doc workflow you're sharing. Yeah. That's good stuff. If it helps and if I can make it better, please tell me. I really do want to make it better. Hey, tall boy.
Hey,
Peach King.
I was about to say, hey, tall boy, how you doing, sir?
Peach King, I'm late. Who is that intelligent lady speaking? She appears quite knowledgeable. She doesn't just appear. She is quite knowledgeable. That's Florence Donald, and we need to talk about where you found Florence at. So that's a good segue into this is where you go find Florence at. And there's a link to her in the description. So you need to go and click on the link and go to Florence's channel, and she goes live every Friday night at 6:30 Eastern. But she tells me she's got something special coming up. She's got a new show coming up. You want to give us a talk about it? You want to give us a hint about it right now?
I do. I'll give you more than a hint about it. So, several months ago, my leadership and communication mentor, not my coach, my leadership and communication mentor, and I started talking, and we decided we were going to do a show together. And it starts actually tomorrow. Our intention is to go live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. And we're talking about showing up our best in the virtual space as leaders, as public speakers, because we both have experienced and do experience so many people who don't know how to show up in this space. And we know that this is the new business suit, and helping people overcome that so that it's not taking forever. I literally have a small studio, and I literally hit a button, lights come on, computer's ready, turn the camera on, because I actually do turn my camera on and off, turn the camera on, and I'm ready to go. I don't have to do anything. My stream deck is set up, the camera's where it is, everything is ready to go. And teaching some of those skills and sharing those skills is what we want to do.
Yeah. You sent me a graphic. Can I share it?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm just going to drop it right over top of my face so you can see it.
Not over top of your face. Not over.
No.
And I
will
promise
your
y'all, I
face.
did not make that. I did not make that. I wrote the content, but I did not make that graphic. I told you that's not my ministry. It's the saying goes.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Transform your unpolished virtual presentation to a commanding authority. So you coming on? Let's see. First night's tomorrow night. So 7 p.m. Eastern. So everybody join Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that's exciting. She just told me about that today, and I said we got to talk about that. So I'm glad you sent me that.
Hold on, or Tall Boy said 7 p.m. just in time for the lab. Isn't the lab at 8?
Yeah, he wants you to be his lead-in.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, Tall Boy. I got you, brother. I got you.
Ken says, better to get production editing over and done in one day than for me to have 7 open loops constantly reminding me I'm running late. Yeah, definitely agree with that. Florence said, Jesus took time away. You need to clip that. Yes, you do. Let's see. Wednesday, 7 p.m., just in time for a lab show. Does this include mods? Peachy King. I was gonna say, I know you've asked about mods before. Obviously, I need to get Paul Duncan back on here and have a show about doing moderation, because Paul made a hit with a lot of people with that video. So I definitely need to get Paul back on here and let's talk about YouTube moderation, because I know Peachy King's mentioned that she's doing modding now for a couple of channels and our channel too, and she wants to really get into the mix there of that and do the best. So yeah. So I want to do rapid fire. Let's see what happens here. All right.
Okay. Okay.
So Florence, what is the biggest productivity myth?
That you can do everything all the time.
Don't I know it? What's your current, I'll say current favorite planning tool?
Pen and paper.
All right. Biggest creator time waster.
Overthinking.
Amen to that. One thing creators should stop obsessing over.
What you're not doing and do the thing.
One habit to start tomorrow.
Use your calendar effectively.
One thing every live stream should have.
A great moderator.
That's true. I agree with that. All right. So Florence, here's my big last question for you. If creators remember only one thing tonight, one thing for night, what should it be, Florence?
You have greatness inside of you. Don't let anyone take it away from you. Be who you really are. You are uniquely created. And there are people who you are the only person they'll ever reach that will reach them. Use your voice to reach the people who were put on earth to hear you for their good.
That's awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome. Let's find my mouse. It went crazy. Anyway, that's awesome advice, Florence. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Everybody clip that too. That'd be good. So you got to go visit Florence's channel. Now, Florence, is a new show going to be on your same channel?
Yes.
So
Same
there you
time,
go.
same place.
There you go. So you can catch her on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. for her new show, and then you can catch her on Friday nights at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Both those are Eastern time, and she is the queen of productivity. I have learned so much from Florence, and been very inspired by her. She's I've told her she's one of my favorite people, and so that's why I was excited to get you on the show tonight, Florence, because I like sharing smart people with people so they can say, oh, I could grow up and be like her one day. So
Okay, well you just said a smart people. Okay, well, no comment.
no comment. No, you're
Roy,
smart.
you are absolutely one of my favorite people. When I got in this game, you were one of the early people who took me under your wing because I genuinely started knowing absolute when I say I knew absolutely nothing, I knew absolutely nothing at all about YouTube other than how to click on a educational video and watch it. I didn't even know all the things behind the scenes. And so Roy and a few other people took me under their wing and I'm still here learning. One day I'll
We
get really good.
we just have a great creator community, and everybody in this community loves to share advice and knowledge. And so you just happen to wind up in the right place at the right time. So that's it. Just great people. The Ecamm community also is a great community as well for those of us that are Ecamm users. But the Ecamm community helps people run an OBS and vMix and everything else too. They just want people to be successful. They'd love for you to buy their software if you run on a Mac. You should buy their software. And I do have, well, I don't have an affiliate link in the channel in the comments, but if I did, I'd say go click on that. So, all right, Florence, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. Thank you to everybody that jumped out there and said some stuff. I got one more comment. I like this comment. I want to put it out there so we can see it. It says, "Joy is the journey, not the arrival." So, yep,
Love that. Love
that is
that.
awesome. Definitely awesome. If I had my big chat button, I'd put it on the big screen. So, Florence, thank you again. So let's see. I'm supposed to give you a call to
You have a
action.
question.
Oh, I do. Let's get a question asked. Ta-da! Hang on. Question. Uh, how do I download your form? So, Ken, you should be able to click on it, and it should take you to Google. It's open to everybody. There's no permit. There's the only security is you can't edit it there. But if you have Google Docs, and I'll show you. Let me go. Hang on. Sharing is caring, and let's show. All right, so we go here and here. So here it is, and hopefully it's showing there. All right, so right here it says request edit access. You don't need that. If you go here and say make a copy or save as Google Docs, or you can go download and you can in whatever format like Word, PDF, Open Doc format. I wouldn't do plain text or rich text. That will not turn out well. Markdown if you're in the you could and then just pick make a copy. Well, I mean save as a Google Doc, or you can make a copy, and if you have a Google Drive, it will automatically open it in your Google Drive, and then you can save it to whatever you want to call it. So, or like I said, you can download a Word document. It was originally a Word document. I just did it as a Word document. So that's a way. And then PDF is no fun because you can't edit it, but PDF will keep you from editing the original. So, yeah. All right. Yeah. And again, if you guys
And
have any suggestions on how to make it better, please tell me. I want to make it better. I'm in hindsight, I think I should make one that's focused just on recording videos. I think I'm going to do a video on demand checklist as well, where here's what you do to prepare for making a video. And that'll help some. Some of you guys are already experts and you don't need that. But, if it's a help, I definitely want to put it out there. So, yeah. Florence,
so, did
what
you
you can
see
say?
Lisa Maria's comment? I keep watching you
No.
all taking
Oh,
notes in preparation for when I get brave enough to go live. Ma'am, you be killing the game out there putting your videos
you
up.
do.
I Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, Lisa Maria.
Yeah, let's put that on here
Girl,
too.
come on. If I
Ta-da,
can
Lisa
do
Marie
this and I
said.
have no idea what I'm doing, you can do this.
Lisa Marie, if you want to be on this show,
She
I'll bring you
joking.
on. You can I'll bring you on one night. You can go live. We can go live together, and then after that, I expect you to go live on your own. But you put videos out on Instagram. I've seen your recorded videos you've done on YouTube. You're getting better and better. You just got to keep doing it. You just got to keep doing it. And thanks, Ken. I really do appreciate Ken. I want to let you know I really appreciate the comments that you make on my videos. You make some very constructive comments, and I do take your comments to heart. And like, how can I get this better? And so when you tell me I'm actually got a video pretty good, then I should make more of that. I try to take that advice as well, Ken. So I do appreciate that. Love your new thumbnails. Thanks. If you watched last week's episode, I'll tell you how I make those thumbnails. Uh, K-Walk Cody, hey! Watched it on TV, but really enjoying the stream. Hey,
Hey,
thank you, Kathy. Thank you
Kathy.
so much. Yep. Miss Marie, it says, thank you, Miss Florence. Look at you get invites,
Miss
Miss Marie.
Florence.
Yeah,
Yes, she be killing. She's doing the thing.
she is.
Again, her voice is unique in the
It is.
world,
It's a
and
teacher kind of voice.
there and I'm not talking about the sound of her voice. I'm talking about the message that she brings. There are people who are praying right now, and the answer to their prayer is going to come from something you say that they hear you say it, and no one else is going to reach them except you.
Yeah.
That's what I mean when your message, the way you form your words, the passion or calmness with which you speak, the flash around the edges is secondary.
Yeah.
It's very secondary. But your actual genuine voice of who you are and the message that's inside of you, there are people only you will reach. No one else will reach them. And that's true for each and every one of us. It's true for Tallboy. It's true for Ken. It's true for Brian, 24-hour boss. It's true for Kombucha. It's true for all of us. It's definitely true for Matt. Every single one of us. We can either reach those people and get out of our own way, or we can take it with us when we close our eyes and not reach those people. It's
Yeah.
that is really genuinely the thing that I realize is most important.
She says, someone else said that to me. Thank you for this confirmation. See, when God wants you to know something's legit, He will make sure you hear it twice at least. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Let's see, I'm supposed to have a call to action. I want you to do something different. I would like you to share this video with another content creator. Tell them, hey, go download Roy's checklist. Go subscribe to Florence's channel and go watch her. But I want you to share this video. Sharing lets YouTube know that I'm making something that's worthwhile. And I won't claim every video I make is worthwhile, but this one was a banger. It definitely had some fantastic information that you needed to hear. And so I really appreciate that. So I'm going to hit that button that makes one of those little, end screens happen. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
Calling all creators, big and small. Tech troublemakers here to help you all. From thumbnails to titles.
I can't dance.
And going live. Let's grow your channel.
Watch one of these videos. YouTube says watch them. Bye, everybody.